Have you ever stopped to think about what your cockatiel is really trying to say when it rests its beak on you? Could this gesture mean just affection, or is there a much deeper message hidden in that small contact? Most owners believe they already know their own bird's behavior well, but the truth is that one of the most common cockatiel behaviors is also one of the most misunderstood, and what you're about to discover now might surprise you. If you live with a cockatiel, you've probably experienced this scene before. You're sitting on the couch working, watching television, or simply resting, and she calmly approaches. Then, without making a sound, she gently rests her beak on your hand, your face, your nose, or even your lips. Some do this for just a few seconds. Others stay there longer, as if trying to convey something. Have you ever gone through this? The curious thing is that this behavior raises countless questions among owners. After all, is she showing love? Is she asking for attention? Does she want to play? Is she just exploring the environment? Or is there another meaning that almost no one knows about? The answer is much more interesting than it seems, because a cockatiel's beak isn't just for eating or climbing on perches. It's one of this species' main communication tools and reveals a lot about their emotions, their level of trust, and how they see the people around them. That's exactly why bird behavior specialists observe this type of interaction so closely. A simple touch can reveal whether the bird feels safe, whether it has formed a strong emotional bond with its owner, or even whether it's trying to communicate a need that has gone unnoticed. What's most striking is that two seemingly identical touches can have completely different meanings, depending on context, body language, and even the cockatiel's own expressions. And here's the detail that almost no one explains. There are different types of beak touches. Some represent one of the greatest signs of trust a cockatiel can offer a human being. Others function as a silent way of getting your attention. There are also those that show curiosity, affection, or a desire to interact. But there's one specific type that many owners mistake for affection when in fact it could be an important warning that something isn't right, and ignoring this signal can directly affect the relationship between you two. Stay with me until the end, because in this video you'll learn to interpret these gestures the same way professionals who study bird psychology and behavior do. After understanding what each touch really means, you'll never look at your cockatiel the same way again. Many behaviors that seem ordinary today will start to make sense, and you'll realize she's communicating with you all the time, even without making a single sound. The relationship between a cockatiel and its owner is built through small signals that often go unnoticed. Unlike dogs or cats, these birds use extremely subtle movements to show trust, build bonds, and express emotions. The better you learn to interpret this language, the stronger the connection between you two becomes. And this not only improves your daily life together, but also helps you identify behavioral changes before they turn into bigger problems. So before concluding that your cockatiel is just being affectionate or curious, it's worth taking a closer look at this simple gesture. Because, depending on how she rests her beak on you, the intensity of that contact and the moment it happens, the message can be completely different from what you imagine. And it's exactly with this first detail that we're going to begin now. And I want to make an invitation before we continue, because the experience of those who watch is also part of this channel. Every cockatiel has a unique personality, and often it's precisely in the comments that stories emerge that can help other owners better understand their own companions. So tell me, does your cockatiel usually rest its beak on you? Does she do it on your hand, your face, your nose, or at some other specific moment of the day? And before watching this video, what did you believe this gesture meant? Write it down below. I read a lot of comments, and I love seeing how small individual experiences end up revealing incredible behavior patterns that don't always appear in books. If this topic makes sense to you, and if at some point your cockatiel has done exactly this gesture, leave your comment right now. Besides enriching this conversation, it could be exactly the answer another owner was looking for. Sometimes an experience shared here completely changes how another person starts to see their own bird. That's what makes this community so special. And if you enjoy content that goes beyond the basics, showing what really happens in cockatiels' minds and behavior, go ahead and hit like. It may seem like a simple gesture, but it sends a very important signal to YouTube that this content deserves to reach more people. The more likes the video gets, the greater the chance that other owners will discover information that can strengthen the relationship with their cockatiels and even avoid interpretation mistakes that many people make without realizing it. If the hype button shows up on your app, tap it too. This feature helps highlight videos that truly deliver quality content and helps the channel reach even more people who want to better understand their animals. It's a way of showing that you believe in this work and want this kind of content to keep being produced. Your support makes a much bigger difference than you might think. And if this is the first time you're here, consider subscribing to the channel, because every week we explore fascinating behaviors, emotions, and curiosities about cockatiels, always based on studies, observations, and these birds' natural language. The idea is that with each video, you'll learn to interpret signals that used to go unnoticed and develop an increasingly stronger connection with your feathered companion. Now that you know a simple beak touch can hide completely different messages depending on the situation, it's time to understand the first meaning of this behavior, and it starts precisely with a detail almost no one notices: the secret hidden in your cockatiel's beak. Now pay attention to this, because this is where everything starts to make sense. A cockatiel's beak isn't just a tool for eating or climbing. It functions as an extension of the bird's senses, essential for exploring the environment, recognizing objects, and building relationships of trust. In the wild, cockatiels don't waste energy on unnecessary contact. Every approach is part of an instinctive decision developed over thousands of years of evolution. That's why, when she chooses to rest her beak specifically on you, there's a hidden truth behind that gesture. She's using the most sensitive part of her own body to interact with someone she considers important in her journey. This behavior reveals much more than curiosity. It shows a shift in how the bird perceives your presence. Nothing happens by chance when it comes to animal behavior. Every small detail has an impact, and understanding these behind-the-scenes details completely changes the way you interpret your cockatiel's actions. But this is only the first meaning. There's an even more exciting one, capable of revealing the true level of trust she feels for you. Comment below, "She trusts me," when she's saying, "I completely trust you." Now pay attention to this detail, because this is where many revelations begin to surface. In the wild, cockatiels are extremely cautious birds. Since they're part of the food chain for several predators, they avoid any unnecessary physical contact with anyone they don't consider safe. This means that trust, for a cockatiel, isn't an impulsive decision, but the result of a long process of observation. When she gently rests her beak on you, with no tension in her body, relaxed feathers, and a calm gaze, she's showing that your presence gives her a sense of security. This behavior is very similar to what happens between mating pairs or members of the same flock, who use small touches to strengthen bonds and reaffirm that they belong to the same group. The impact of this gesture goes far beyond affection. It reveals that you've stopped being just someone who provides food and have come to occupy a special place in the bird's mindset. If besides the touch she stays close to you spontaneously, closes her eyes for a few moments, or allows herself to be vulnerable beside you, there's a good chance she already sees you as part of her own family. And there's an even more fascinating behavior, one that many people interpret as a simple kiss, when in fact it hides a completely different meaning. The gesture many call a kiss, but almost no one understands. Now pay attention to this, because this is where one of the biggest misunderstandings among owners happens. When the cockatiel rests her beak on your face or lips, many people believe she's giving a kiss. In some cases, this can indeed represent affection, but that's not the only truth behind this behavior. Cockatiels also use their beaks to explore, recognize scents, test their surroundings, and strengthen social bonds. That's why looking only at the touch itself can lead to mistaken conclusions. The secret lies in the body language behind the scenes. Watch whether her eyes are relaxed, whether her feathers stay slightly loose, whether she makes soft vocalizations and maintains a calm posture. When these signs appear together, there's a good chance the gesture is a genuine display of affection and trust. But if her body is stiff, her feathers are ruffled, or she pulls away right afterward, the meaning could be completely different. Understanding this set of signals represents a real shift in how you interpret your bird. And interestingly, there's an even smarter reason many cockatiels use their beaks this way, one that reveals just how much they try to communicate without making a single sound. She might be trying to talk to you. Now pay attention to this, because this is where everything takes on an even more fascinating meaning. Unlike what many people imagine, cockatiels don't just use sounds to communicate. In many moments, the beak functions as a true silent language. When she lightly touches your hand while you're distracted, brings her beak close to your face, or makes small repeated touches, she might not be seeking affection, but trying to get your attention. It's as if she's saying, "Hey, look at me." This behavior usually shows up when she wants to play, explore something alongside you, or simply take part in what you're doing. It's a way of creating interaction without needing to make a loud call. Anyone who lives with a cockatiel every day has probably witnessed this scene without realizing its importance. This hidden truth reveals that the bird makes conscious decisions to include you in her routine, strengthening a bond that goes far beyond simply living together. And there's a detail few people notice. Depending on the intensity and form of this touch, the message can change completely, revealing something that deserves even more attention. The one moment when this touch deserves your immediate attention. Now pay attention to this, because there's a difference that can make a huge impact on your cockatiel's health and well-being. Not every beak touch represents affection or trust. In some situations, this behavior is a silent way of communicating that something isn't right. If the touch comes along with ruffled feathers, rapid breathing, irritability, harder biting attempts, or sudden changes in behavior, it's worth paying close attention. Pain, discomfort, stress, and even hormonal changes can make the bird seek contact in a different way than usual. The hidden truth is that the intensity of the touch and the body language tell a much more important story than the isolated gesture. A calm cockatiel touches gently and stays relaxed. A frustrated or bothered bird, on the other hand, tends to show tension in her body and unpredictable reactions. Learning to notice these behind-the-scenes signs allows you to make quicker decisions and strengthens the trust between you two, preventing small signals from being ignored. And there's one last meaning that almost no one notices, but it reveals the moment your cockatiel truly chooses you as part of her family. The most beautiful signal of all. When she chooses you now, pay attention to this, because we've reached the most touching revelation of all. When a cockatiel calmly rests her beak on you, stays by your side of her own free will, and repeats this behavior over the days, she may be strengthening a bond that, in nature, is reserved for members of her own group. This means you've stopped being just the owner and have become part of her world. This transformation happens gradually, built through small daily decisions, moments of safety, and shared positive experiences. The best way to respond is by respecting this gesture. Make calm movements, speak in a soft voice, and never force an interaction. When she realizes that her trust is being returned, this bond grows even stronger. The hidden truth is that great relationships aren't born from grand gestures, but from small signals repeated with care and respect. Sometimes everything a cockatiel wants to say fits into a simple beak touch. The problem is that we almost never learn to listen to what she's saying, and if you made it this far, it's because you really want to understand your cockatiel far beyond what most people manage to. And that's one of the most beautiful things about building this kind of connection, realizing that small gestures, which used to seem unimportant, actually carry messages, emotions, and intentions that make all the difference in the relationship between you two. If you want to keep discovering signals, behaviors, and messages that most people ignore every day, subscribe to the channel. Here, every video is designed to help you better understand your cockatiel's language and build an increasingly stronger bond based on trust, respect, and understanding. And I want to make one last invitation. If you watched until the end, comment below. My cockatiel trusts me. That way I'll know you were part of this journey all the way through, and take the chance to tell me how your cockatiel usually rests its beak on you. Every bird has its own personality, and often one owner's experience ends up helping another understand a behavior that seemed like a great mystery. If you haven't liked this video yet, do it now. Every like helps this content reach more people and keeps many owners from continuing to misinterpret important signals from their birds. In the end, this small gesture can make a real impact on the lives of cockatiels that depend completely on the attention and care of those who love them. And before you go, there's a video showing up on the screen that perfectly complements everything we talked about today. I'm sure that after watching it, you'll see even more of your cockatiel's behaviors in a new light. Click on it and stay with me over there. See you soon.